I was discussing the details of my upcoming wedding with my fiancé, separated by a screen. Suddenly, the woman he brought back from the countryside barged in, disheveled, and fell straight inside. In his arms, her hands wrapped around his neck, she complained that she had gotten up too early. Little did they know that behind this screen sat me and a group of ceremonial officials. Su Liangcheng quickly closed the screen, straightened his outer robe, and without changing his expression, waved everyone away.
This general will handle it. This is a family matter. Everyone else may leave first.
He emphasized the words family matter heavily. In that instant, all eyes were on me, their gazes full of anticipation for a good show. I remained perfectly still, and only after everyone had left did I speak coldly. You want to marry both a wife and a concubine at the same time? Su Liangcheng's face darkened.
Maya is not a concubine.
I sneered. Then who is she? She suppressed her anger and explained.
Li Mei is highly skilled in medicine and handles matters thoroughly. She is well respected in the army and will assist me in handling cases. And you are just a pampered daughter who can offer nothing but a dowry. I can stay at home to serve our parents and manage the household. You two, one handling affairs inside and the other outside, won't conflict at all. Why bother distinguishing who is primary or secondary?
I didn't bother arguing about this nonsense, so I brushed her off. With a simple, "We'll do as you say," she went to request an audience. The Empress soon summoned me. Are you truly willing to marry the Crown Prince? I knelt before her firmly. I am, Your Majesty. Overjoyed, she stepped forward to help me up. This is wonderful. You can rest assured now. I'll protect the Duke's house, bear the prince an heir, and glory is yours. The Empress told many this, but no noble wants to be a widow, nor believes a dying man can father a child. I didn't either, but desperate to escape the Su family, I took the title. Then His Majesty gave me a cold, sweeping glance.
I remember that your marriage to Su Liangcheng was personally bestowed by me. Now you wish to marry the Crown Prince? Are you trying to defy my decree?
The Empress's face fell and I knelt, explaining that I'd confused sibling affection for love. Now that General Su has someone he loves, I do not wish to break up a good match, and am willing to withdraw to let them be together. Them.
Oh, wow, is there really such a remarkable thing as that?
Upon hearing this, His Majesty turned his gaze to the chief eunuch, Wang Shi, who stood beside him.
Exactly. Li Mei is a skilled military doctor also being commended for her achievements. It seems the two fell in love while serving. General Su plans for both Miss Feng and Li Mei to marry him in 10 days.
The Emperor nodded in sudden understanding.
So it turns out that Su Liangcheng changed his heart on his own, but afraid of being accused of defying an imperial decree, he pushed you into this situation. And that Li Mei, knowing full well that Su Liangcheng was already engaged, still didn't avoid suspicion. She isn't exactly a good woman either. The two of them are truly a perfect match.
The Empress seized the moment. The Gogong manor is loyal. How can Wang Ge suffer such humiliation? Please accept her as your daughter-in-law. The world will praise you as a wise ruler who values merit.
Since she is willing herself, then go ahead and make the arrangements.
After saying this, the Emperor swept out. The Empress wept with joy, kowtowing in thanks. But back in his study, the Emperor frowned, his tone heavy.
The Duke of Dingguo has only been gone for half a year, and Su Liangcheng can't even be bothered to keep up appearances anymore.
Eunuch Wang served the Emperor's tea, and the younger brother agreed.
Isn't that so? Miss Fei has lost 3 close relatives in succession and now faces this misfortune. She must have been traumatized and wants to marry the Crown Prince to avenge General Su.
How foolish. The Crown Prince couldn't even protect her while he was alive. Once he dies, her only path will be to follow him in death. If the Duke of Dingguo knew his daughter ended up like this, he wouldn't be able to rest in peace even in the afterlife.
Eunuch Wang stood with his hands lowered, not daring to speak, while the Emperor frowned, his expression dark and gloomy.
Su Liangcheng and Li Mei just served well, so I can't lash out. But without some punishment, I fear it will upset the Duke of Dingguo's old subordinates.
Eunuch Wang tactfully offered a suggestion at just the right moment.
It would be better to give them a subtle warning from the sidelines.
The Emperor paused for a moment, already having made up his mind. As soon as I stepped into the Duke's residence, I saw a crowd gathered in the front courtyard, all looking worried and distressed. My heart skipped a beat. What could have happened now? As soon as Lu He saw me return, she immediately started scolding me harshly.
Su Liangcheng is a beast! By law, betrothal gifts should be 20 chests, but the general's residence only sent 2, and they use concubine-style chests. This is insulting your dignity!
Liu stomped her feet in anger. Following her gaze, I saw the 2 betrothal chests. My brother Fengli wiped tears.
They're bullying you since you won't defy the imperial edict. I'll settle this.
I grabbed her at once. No need. After all, I never really planned to marry him, so it doesn't matter what they send. Steward, pack up these things. On the wedding day, make sure to send them back with a big fanfare of drums and gongs. The steward was stunned at first, but then quickly understood my meaning and bowed in response.
This old servant will be sure to bring every drum and gong in the residence.
I let out a light laugh, as if I wanted the whole capital to hear it. The steward immediately responded.
Miss, however you want to vent your anger, just do it your way.
Now, for serious matters. They all looked at me, surprised. In 10 days I marry into the Eastern Palace, prepare the residence and celebrate for good luck. But celebrating a dying crown prince? They fell silent. I smiled. This is my only wedding. Must it be so quiet? Pineapple teared up.
Sister!
Arm around her, I gazed resolutely at the crowd. I vowed to stay well until Ali comes of age. My words rang out, steady and reassuring, calming everyone. The next day, the imperial decree for this feat reached Su Liangcheng and Li Mei. Everyone expected their rewards to be the most generous. The general's mansion prepared drums and firecrackers, wanting neighbors to know of the achievement. However, after the smoke cleared, the long line of rewards never appeared. Instead, 4 guards quietly brought just 2 chests to the mansion.
What's going on? My son was credited for this achievement. How could the reward be so little? Did you pocket some of it along the way?
Eunuch Wang Shi, acting on imperial orders, darkened his expression at these words.
Madam Su, mind your words. All rewards are His Majesty's decision. We wouldn't dare embezzle them.
How could it possibly be just this?
Madame Su rushed to open 2 chests herself. One held ordinary items, unlike the consort's gifts. The other was packed with books on military strategy and various classics. Everyone was stunned. A bewildered Su Liangcheng stepped forward.
May I ask, Eunuch, what exactly did I do wrong to incur His Majesty's displeasure?
Eunuch Wang Shi flicked his horsetail whisk, his smile insincere and not reaching his eyes.
General Su, what are you saying? You've achieved military merit. His Majesty is delighted. He couldn't be happier.
Su Liangcheng was feeling increasingly uneasy, while Li Mei came storming over, clutching 2 bolts of copper-patterned silk in her arms.
After my battlefield service, I get only 2 bolts of silk? Is this the court's reward? Empty treasury or not, don't fail your soldiers like this.
Her blatant complaints made Eunuch Wang Shi's face darken on the spot.
General Su, the king gave you the Book of Sages. If you won't use it, let your future wife learn propriety and shame from it, and how to be cautious in word and deed.
Su Liangcheng was greatly alarmed and hurriedly apologized.
Please don't be angry, Eunuch. My sister meant no offense. She's simply very curious about His Majesty's true intentions. We humbly ask you to enlighten us.
Eunuch Wang Shi glanced at the matching silk with a sarcastic tone and spoke.
Perhaps His Majesty, out of consideration for your upcoming wedding, is simply allowing you to make a few more new outfits.
With that, he stormed out. Though Su Liangcheng knew the emperor's real intent, he stayed silent and anxious. The firecrackers drew a crowd with stunned faces.
I heard that Miss Feng entered the palace yesterday. She must have gone to file a complaint, right?
Of course. How could the legitimate daughter of a noble family be happy sharing a husband with a mere physician's daughter?
Su Liangcheng's face darkened, and only then did he belatedly realize why today's reward was so meager. Li Mei, furious, threw the silk fiercely into the chest. That childhood sweetheart of yours is really something. If I had known it would come to this, why would I have risked my life to poison the enemy army? Su Liangcheng was burning with anger. He could tolerate a woman's jealousy, but he absolutely could not tolerate her being so inconsiderate. This would affect the emperor's favor, and even more, his own future. With a grim face, he returned to the backyard, mounted his horse without another word, and rode straight to the duke's mansion. Seeing this, Li Mei hurriedly followed after him. Su Liangcheng's parents also felt they had suffered a great loss, each wearing a mournful expression, as if they had lost their own father. At this moment, I was leading Feng Li in the largest silk shop in the capital, when a sudden angry shout pierced the sky. Seeing who had arrived, I looked directly at Su Liangcheng and spoke calmly. General Su, to what do I owe the pleasure? Su Liangcheng's cold eyes glared at me intently.
You got Li Mei and me punished by the emperor, and yet you still have the leisure to go shopping. How can you be so heartless?
I don't understand what you're talking about. I haven't done anything. You've got the wrong person. Seeing how calm I looked, Su Liangcheng actually started to waver.
It really wasn't you.
I was just about to nod when a woman suddenly stormed in, full of aggression. Su Liangcheng, don't listen to her trying to talk her way out of this. I'm certain she's the one behind all this. This was the first time I met Li Mei, but seeing that familiar face, the hatred in my heart surged uncontrollably. In my previous life, it was she who revealed to me the truth about my parents' and brother's tragic deaths right before I died. And the one who started it all was her, Li Mei. I will never forget the smug, triumphant look on her face as I was dying. She said she came from thousands of years in the future, and that I was just an old-fashioned ancient person who could never outsmart her. I don't know what people from thousands of years in the future are like, but I do know that no matter the era, those who commit countless evil deeds will always be punished by the heavens.
Maya, how can you be so sure it was her?
Li Mei shot me a cold glance. I just had someone look into it. Yesterday morning, His Majesty prepared 20 chests of rewards for us. But as soon as she entered the palace, all the rewards were changed. If she wasn't the one who reported us, then who was it? Su Liangcheng's brows instantly furrowed again.
Not only are you vicious, but you also dare not admit what you've done. Truly, you're incorrigible even in the face of death.
Feng Li clenched her fists and stepped in front of me.
My sister said she didn't do it, so she didn't. If you don't trust her, then why insist on marrying her and humiliating her like this? What kind of man are you, Azao?
Since when do kids like you get to butt into adults' business? Apologize.
I was instantly furious and pulled Zhang Fengli behind me to protect her. With me as her older sister, it's not your place to lecture Ali. Ali asked the right question. If you trust her and not me, then why not just go and request to break off the engagement? It seems your love for your beloved isn't all that deep after all. Li Mei frowned, her face turning cold, and Su Liangcheng immediately chimed in.
My love for Meyer is as true as heaven and earth can attest. You're just trying to sow discord, so I'll give up on her and marry only you. To think I once believed you were pure. Who knew you were so scheming?
I sneered. It's not too late to break off the engagement now. You can always go and ask them to stop it. Otherwise, I'm capable of even worse things. Don't believe me. Try me. Su Liangcheng was about to lash out when Li Mei hurriedly stopped him. No! Su Liangcheng and I looked at her in confusion. Li Mei realized she had overreacted and quickly softened her tone. Back then, the marriage was arranged when the Duke's family was at its peak, and the General's family was unknown. Now things are worlds apart. You've just achieved great military exploits, and you want to break off the engagement now? Wouldn't that just make everyone want to criticize you for being heartless and ungrateful? As she spoke, she turned her attention to me. You only dare to use such unscrupulous tactics and push me so hard because you think Su Liangcheng is too soft-hearted to abandon you. I bet you only have one goal. I felt he looked like a clown at that moment. Listen to me, Li Mei said confidently. You just want to force Su Liangcheng to drive me away so you can monopolize the position of mistress of the General's mansion. I retorted directly. Are you really willing to share your husband with another woman? Li Mei was taken aback, then retorted stubbornly. Of course I want to be with Su Liangcheng for life, but I will never selfishly let him bear the blame, nor will I ruin his future. I advise you to be more magnanimous and put away those underhanded tricks. Once you're married, I will never take advantage of Su Liangcheng's favor to make things difficult for you. Just manage the household well, serve your in-laws well, and let us go to war with peace of mind. When we return with our military merits, you will be rewarded handsomely. These words sounded incredibly affectionate to Su Liangcheng. He gripped Li Mei's hand tightly, and his eyes were filled with disgust as he looked at me.
You've already prepared the wedding dress for Fengli, clearly eager to marry me. Yet you keep talking about breaking off the engagement. How utterly hypocritical. Maya, today you are here as a hostage. If you dare to make a scene again, don't blame me for actually breaking off the engagement. Then let's see how you'll ever get married in this lifetime. Maya, let's go.
Su Liangcheng took Li Mei's hand and turned to leave, but just as they turned around, Li Mei suddenly stopped and spun back abruptly. The rewards we lost this time will be deducted from your dowry when you marry in, she said. The corners of my mouth curled into a cold smile, my gaze icy as frost. Miss Li, what makes you think you can covet my dowry? Li Mei's expression froze, and she was momentarily at a loss for words. Seeing this, Su Liangcheng's eyes filled with pain as he protectively pulled her into his arms.
Maya is right. This isn't coveting. It's what you owe us.
As soon as they finished speaking, the two of them turned on their heels and left, not caring at all whether I agreed or not. It was still early, and there were only a few customers in the silk shop. The shopkeeper and clerks looked at me with utter contempt. Under the gaze of everyone, Fengli felt deeply uncomfortable. My sister clearly hadn't done anything wrong, nor did she owe them anything. Besides, she had long since stopped wanting to marry Su Liangcheng.
Sister, let's go! On the day of the wedding, they'll regret it!
I let Fengli lead me outside, but my mind kept replaying Li Mei's words. The probing earlier had indeed revealed the problem. I didn't believe any woman could be so magnanimous as to willingly let her husband take a concubine. In my past life, Su Liangcheng would get extremely jealous if he stayed in my room for even a short while. Today, he seemed afraid that Su Liangcheng would break off the engagement. After thinking about it, there was only one possibility left. There was something he wanted in the Duke's mansion. After returning to the mansion, I studied the storeroom inventory until late at night. Although there were many valuable items in the storeroom, there was nothing unique. What could it be that he would rather share his husband with than not have? I couldn't figure it out. I put this matter aside for the time being, but no matter what, I would never let Li Mei step into the Duke's mansion and the East Palace as casually as I did in my past life. Crown Prince Junju Yuan was mostly asleep, only occasionally waking up for a moment when guards and military doctors would report things to him. At this moment, Junju Yuan heard that he was about to get married, but his face remained calm. However, when he heard that the Crown Princess was Feng Wange, his cloudy eyes suddenly lit up.
Tell me, who is it?
A sudden, hoarse and muffled voice rang out, sounding like an old man worn out by age and fatigue. Junyi felt an unexpected pang in his heart, an ache from the inside out. The person before him, who had once been so spirited and full of ambition. Junyi leaned in close to Junju Yuan and answered, word by word.
It was your mentor, Brother Feng Wan, the daughter of Duke Dingguo, General Feng Huajing, and the younger sister of General Feng Xiao.
Several familiar names were mentioned in a row. Junju Yuan's eyes widened, his expression dazed. After a while, knowing that Junju Yuan cared about the Feng family, Junyi carefully recounted everything about Brother Feng Wan and Su Liangcheng to Junju Yuan. Junju Yuan listened very attentively. He didn't blink once, and only after Junyi finished speaking did Junju Yuan slowly close his eyes.
Write a memorial letter for me, and after I die, present it to the Emperor and Empress on my behalf.
Junju Yuan wanted to spare Feng Wange from burial with him posthumously. Junyi nodded, grief-stricken.
Yes.
Even though I went to bed late the night before, I still got up early the next day. Now that only Ali and I are left in the family, I naturally have to shoulder the heavy responsibilities of the Duke's household. The first thing I must do is take my brother Feng Xiao as my example. For more than 10 years, Feng Xiao has risen before dawn every day to practice swordsmanship. In the past, with my brother, father, and mother to rely on, I would often slack off, but I will never do so again. As the descendant of a family of generals, I must never bring shame to the Duke's household. In the quiet courtyard, the young woman's sharp brows and bright eyes, her black hair swirling as her sword rose and fell. She was like a raging storm stirring up 1,000 waves, majestic and powerful, with the wind and clouds surging. Liu watched from the doorway, her face full of amazement. Not until half an hour later, when the long sword was flicked and landed perfectly in its scabbard, did the courtyard return to silence. Liu hurried over with a towel, and as I panted lightly, I wiped my sweat while listening to Liu's praise.
Miss, you're truly amazing. In every move, you have the young master's presence. At first glance, I even thought the young master had come back.
At the mention of Feng Xiao, my expression faltered slightly as I looked at the sword in my hand. This sword was personally forged for me by Feng Xiao 2 years ago, right before he was sent to guard the border. I had thought that this time, when father and mother went to war, they would bring my brother home with them, and that their family of 5 would finally be reunited. But I never expected that our hurried farewell 2 years ago would turn out to be our last. Realizing she had said something wrong, Liu's face instantly turned pale.
I'm sorry, miss,
It's alright. I'm actually glad that someone still remembers my brother. I composed myself and handed the sword to Liu. Where's Ali? I asked. Liu took the sword with both hands and hurriedly replied.
The young master left for the academy before dawn. He said that a special teacher was invited to give a lecture today, so he wanted to prepare in advance.
Feng Li has always been diligent in his studies. Ever since the incident at home 6 months ago, he hasn't taken a single day off. He wants so badly to grow up quickly, to become a man like his father and older brother. Tonight, have the kitchen prepare an extra fish. Ali loves to eat fish.
Yes, ma'am!
I went to have breakfast, but had just sat down when Feng Li's personal servant came running in, out of breath.
Miss, something's wrong. The young master was beaten by General Su.
I silently stood up. Before Liu could catch up, I saw a figure in blue disappear around the corner. At the Yingtian Academy training ground, Feng Li stood tall despite his small frame. Even with injuries on his face and blood on his forehead, his expression remained stubborn.
I didn't insult him. You had no proof, but you struck me bullying the weak. You're the ones in the wrong.
Su Liangcheng thrust his spear forward, hurling accusations meant to harm.
Maya is kind-hearted. Aside from your sister, she hasn't had any conflicts with anyone else. Besides, accusing her of seducing a married man is exactly the kind of rumor that benefits your sister the most. If it wasn't you, then who else could it be? If you still want me to marry your sister, then apologize to Maya immediately.
Li Mei, standing behind, also glared at Feng Li with hatred in her eyes. Today, Su Liangcheng must severely punish the rumormonger and clear her name. Even before she transmigrated, she couldn't tolerate such slander against a woman's reputation, let alone now in this ancient era and new world. She wants to live with dignity. Feng Li scoffed disdainfully.
You think too highly of yourself and too highly of him. My elder sister has never bothered to compete with him, and I can't even be bothered to insult him. If I had known earlier that the teachers invited today were you all, I wouldn't have come at all.
Upon hearing this, Su Liangcheng's face darkened.
The grandfather invited us here to set an example for you, so that one day you too might go to the battlefield, fight the enemy, and defend our country. What kind of attitude is this? In our dynasty, showing contempt for those with military merit is a serious crime.
Even the small features of Feng Li's face took on a hint of emotion.
As a southerner, I respect you for restoring peace. But as my sister's family, you're a heartless, ungrateful scoundrel. I don't belittle your victories, I just despise how you treated my sister.
With his back turned, Su Liangcheng felt his blood surge with anger. His face turned ashen, and he gripped his silver spear tightly in his hand.
Such insolence at your young age. Since the Duke's household has failed to discipline you, I will do it myself.
As soon as he finished speaking, the silver spear shot through the air, carrying the force of 1,000 soldiers as it thrust toward Feng Li. I had just rushed into the training ground when I saw this scene from afar. My pupils contracted violently, my mind went blank, and though I wanted to shout, it was as if something was suppressing me. No sound came from my throat. At that critical moment, a black figure flashed by like a gust of wind, grabbed Feng Li's arm, and pulled her away from where she stood. The silver spear narrowly grazed Feng Li's shoulder, its fierce momentum driving it deep into the ground behind her. My legs went weak, and the relief of surviving the ordeal slowly brought color back to my pale face. I ran over and grabbed Feng Li's shoulders. Ali, are you all right? The fabric on Feng Li's shoulder was torn, leaving a bloody scratch, and she was so frightened she was in a daze, her eyes brimming with tears.
Sister, I really didn't curse anyone!
I pressed my lips together, a chilling fierceness rising in my eyes. Suppressing the anger in my chest, I first looked at the man in black who had saved Pineapple. Thank you, sir, for your help. Please wait a moment. I'll repay your life-saving kindness after I deal with what's in front of me. The military doctor nodded, stepped aside, and silently watched the scene unfold. I slowly turned my gaze toward Su Liangqing on the high platform. Su Liangqing, where did you get the nerve to try to kill Ali? Meeting my gaze, which seemed as if I could devour him, Su Liangqing's heart pounded with fear. The moment he threw the spear, he had already regretted it. Now, seeing Pineapple standing there safe and sound, he let out a sigh of relief, but recalling what had just happened, he felt his anger flare up again.
I'm his future brother-in-law and martial arts coach. If he disrespects his elders, shouldn't he pay?
I waved my hand, drew my silver spear, and pointed it at Su Liangqing. Whether it's punishment or death, today you must give me an explanation. As soon as I finished speaking, I charged at Su Liangqing with both myself and my spear. The spear whistled loudly. It sounded like a dragon's shadow. I came at him fiercely, the spear slicing through the air with a silver gleam striking straight at him. Su Liangqing protected Li Mei, turning his body and raising an arm, barely dodging the tip of the spear. But before he could see clearly, a figure suddenly flashed before his eyes, so fast he couldn't react at all. In the next second, the cold blade of the spear was already pressed against his throat. A line of blood slid down the silver spear, staining the red tassel even more vividly. Su Liangqing's pupils shook with shock, and he didn't even have time to feel the pain.
Your martial arts? How are they so good?
He had always thought that Feng Wange was greedy for pleasure, that I couldn't endure hardship and only knew a few basic sloppy moves. The anger on my face had not yet faded. Compared to my father and brothers, I may not be that skilled, but to protect those who defend my country, my skills are more than enough. Li Mei hid behind Su Liangqing. She didn't have such good skills, and glared at Feng Wange, her eyes burning with jealousy. So it turns out that everyone in the Duke's mansion is just a bunch of bullies. Feng Li relies on having you as her elder sister to insult me with her words. You rely on your martial arts skills and then fighting and killing your future husband. Is this the upbringing of the Duke's mansion? My eyes flashed as I turned the spearhead toward Li Mei. You say that Ali insulted you. Do you have any evidence for your accusation of verbal humiliation? Li Mei looked at the blood-stained spearhead, so frightened that her throat tightened. But she didn't want to show any weakness in front of Feng Wange, so she tightly grabbed onto Su Liangqing and forced herself to hold on. I have no grievances or enmity with anyone else at the academy. Those rumors weren't spread by her. Then who else could it be? I seized on the key point. So you're saying? There's no evidence, it's just speculation. For a moment she was left speechless. When he heard that some students were gossiping behind his back, saying he had stolen someone else's husband, he immediately became convinced that it was Feng Li who spread the rumor. There really isn't any evidence, but he definitely isn't being wronged. I'm disillusioned by these schemes. Since that's the case, do you dare to go with me to the Dali Temple? Su Liangqing's expression, already gloomy, his face grew even darker.
Nonsense! It's just a child's joke. If you apologize, little sister won't hold it against you. Why make such a fuss and alarm the Dali Temple?
I did nothing wrong.
Feng Li shouted as she ran to my side.
Sister, I did nothing wrong. I absolutely won't apologize. I want to go to the Dali Temple. I want a fair judgment, and I want the whole world to see and judge who is right in this matter, who is truly right, and who is wrong.
As soon as these words were spoken, both Su Liangqing and Li Mei's expressions changed. If this matter really gets blown up, it won't look good for them. Just as the standoff continued, a sudden voice rang out.
This old man is here to bring my unfilial grandson to confess his wrongdoing.
Everyone turned to see a grey-bearded old man walking over. Yin Zhuo, the Grand Secretary and Imperial Tutor, is respected by the Emperor and the 3 consorts. Behind him, a young boy was being dragged along. The boy clenched his hands, looking down in fear. Su Liangqing was the first to bow, and the others hurriedly followed suit.
Greetings, Grand Tutor Yin. May I ask what brings you to our humble academy today?
Yin Zhuo's shrewd gaze swept over the scene, and he immediately guessed what had happened.
I have brought someone to apologize. Xiao Bao. Speak for yourself.
As he spoke, he reached out his long arm and pulled the little boy out from behind him. The Yin family's little boy, Yin Xiaobao, had rosy lips and white teeth, and his chubby cheeks showed he was well cared for. When he pouted and stayed quiet, he looked especially adorable. I remember that he's usually a mischievous rascal, completely unruly. He's never afraid of anything, but right now, his expression looked as if the sky was falling. His face was pale, and he was trembling as he spoke.
I was the one who said those things about Dr. Li. It had nothing to do with Brother Feng Li. I'm sorry.
Having mustered up the courage to start, she seemed to feel relieved and immediately relaxed, then continued. She earnestly faced everyone and said, "It's wrong to speak ill of others behind their backs. Running home out of fear when things got out of hand is even less what a gentleman should do. Grandpa has already scolded me. From now on, if I have something to say, I'll say it in front of everyone. I will be open and upright, and never implicate others. I only ask that you consider my young age and ignorance, and let me off this time." As soon as she said this, Su Liangqing and Li Mei's expressions froze. They wanted to scold her, even felt like hanging Yin Xiaobao up and giving her a beating. Seeing his own grandson admit his mistake and correct it, Yin Zhuo nodded slightly, his gaze even showing a hint of appreciation, but he still remained modest in his words.
This whole matter was entirely Xiaobao's fault. The first mistake was not daring to tell the truth face to face, which led General Su and Miss Li to make wild guesses. The second mistake was being cowardly and fleeing at the last moment, causing young Master Feng to be punished as well. It was I, as his grandfather, who failed in my teaching. I must once again, solemnly, I apologize. If any of you are still dissatisfied and wish to hit or scold, do as you please. I will not stop you.
Su Liangcheng and Miss Li looked stunned. Telling the truth? Why insult them to their faces? Tension rose, per the Grand Tutor's advice.
If you are still not satisfied, why not file a complaint with the Emperor? His Majesty is wise and will surely judge fairly. He will uphold justice for everyone here.
As soon as these words were spoken, Su Liangcheng and Miss Li were completely defeated. Even if this matter were brought before the Emperor, it would only be seen as a few childish remarks. The Emperor would not do anything to a child, nor would he make things difficult for Yin Zhuo and the others. They would gain nothing, and only become a laughingstock. Su Liangcheng suppressed his displeasure. Unhappy.
Grand Tutor Yin, you overstate things. Now that the misunderstanding has been cleared up, let's put this matter to rest. I will take my leave now.
As he spoke, he was about to take Li Mei and leave, but just as they took a step, a flash of light suddenly blocked their way. Wait, I said, my spear once again barring their path. You wronged Ali, and this debt hasn't been settled yet, Su Liangcheng. Already feeling humiliated, now he was even angrier.
I already said it was a misunderstanding. What more do you want?
My gaze swept over the dark red mark on Feng Li's shoulder, and then to the faint blue. Naturally, courtesy demands reciprocity. As soon as I finished speaking, my spear flew from my hand, catching them completely off guard. It grazed Su Liangcheng's shoulder. I had full control over my strength. Coincidentally, the spot where Su Liangcheng was injured, and the amount of blood, were almost exactly the same as Feng Li's. Li Mei cried out in shock, her eyes practically wishing she could skin me alive on the spot. You've struck Liangcheng twice. This is clearly revenge. So what if it is? If you have the guts, take your revenge on me. Li Mei was so angry her face turned bright red, but she had just witnessed Feng Wang's martial arts skills. She found herself completely powerless. Su Liangcheng frowned in pain, his face full of shock. He stared at me.
I knew you were jealous, but I never realized your desire for revenge was this strong. You've brought such violence and unruliness into the General's residence. I will have Mother discipline you properly. You'd better watch yourself.
Say what you want. Su Liangcheng and Li Mei left angrily after the two of them had gone. Yin Xiaobao quietly walked up to Feng Li, his small eyes glancing guiltily at the wound on her shoulder. I'm sorry, Brother Feng Li. I didn't know they would pin the blame on you. If I had known, I definitely wouldn't have run away. For the sake of you standing up for my sister.
I won't hold it against you. But next time, if you dare act so cowardly again, I won't acknowledge you as my friend.
Yin Xiaobao was instantly moved. Brother Feng Li, you're so kind. My grandpa has some excellent wound medicine. I'll bring it to you in a bit.
This is Wanli Jiao, my grandfather's secret recipe. Your family's medicine came from mine. I'm not going.
Yin Xiaobao scratched his head awkwardly after eating. As the kids bickered, Yin Zhou approached me directly.
Miss Feng, do you really still want to marry Su Liangcheng?
I was a bit stunned. I hadn't expected the dignified Grand Tutor to actually care about his marriage. I replied, thank you, Yin. As for the Grand Tutor's concern about this matter, Wang Gei has her own plans. Seeing that I didn't want to say more, Yin Zhuo didn't press further either, but his tone was full of regret.
If Feng Xiao were still alive, the Feng and Yin families would have long since become in-laws. I have great respect for your family. The Gogong Manor is loyal. If you or your brother face trouble, reach out. I'll help however I can.
Gratefully, I thanked Grand Tutor Yin and asked, how is Sister Chong doing? Mentioning his granddaughter Yin Kong, Yin Zhuo looked worried.
She's still at Lingyun Temple, and despite our persuasion, she won't return.
I was caught off guard, and my heart ached. Yin Kong was Feng Xiao's fiancé. The two families had already agreed that once the war was over, Feng Xiao would return to the capital and marry Yin Kong in a grand ceremony. He was to marry her, but after waiting so long, Yin Kong only received news of Feng Xiao's death in battle. Heartbroken, she moved to Lingyun Temple 6 months ago to pray and seek peace for the Feng family's souls. She has done all she could. Yin Zhuo sighed wearily.
I hope Miss Feng can find some time to persuade him, to help him let go of the past and start anew. You are Feng Xiao's own younger sister. Maybe he would listen to you.
Yin Xiaobao ran over upon hearing this.
Don't waste your effort. Big sister adores Brother Xiao and won't listen to a soul.
Yin Zhuo's face darkened.
You'd better take care of yourself first. Go do horse stance for 2 hours. If you're that cowardly again, you're no grandson of mine.
Amid Yin Xiaobao's wails, Yin Zhuo whisked him away. At the training ground, I still had something on my mind, so I hurriedly turned back, only to see the training ground. Aside from a few students watching the commotion, there was no one else left. Where is the young master who just saved you? Feng Li also hurriedly turned around, looking confused.
He was just here a moment ago. How did he disappear?
Sister, she looks so familiar to me. I feel like I've seen her somewhere before.
I didn't argue. How could the Crown Prince's personal guard not put on an act? Back at the Duke's residence, I was applying medicine to Feng Li. Suddenly, a string of angry curses rang out as Liuer stormed in, fuming.
Shameless! She even dares to ask my lady to deliver medicine to her, to kneel and apologize. She can just go eat shit!
I set down the bottle, frowning. What's going on?
The general's resident sent word that Su Liangcheng is injured, and you must bring him medicine. Guan Yujiao even wants you to kneel there for an hour. She should look in the mirror. How can she be so shameless?
I don't really care. I chuckled lightly. If we don't go, that's the end of it. Is it really worth getting so angry? Have they left? Luer's eyes darted around, unable to hide her guilty look.
They've left.
Don't wait. I spoke up, my tone calm and unhurried.
Sister Luer, you didn't do a good thing.
Luer silently lowered her head, fiddling nervously with her fingers.
Excuse me, miss, if I should get into trouble.
Will you protect me? I secretly handed over the white medicine bottle that the steward brought back from the Duke Dingguo's residence to the general's residence.
Miss Feng is taking care of young Master Feng. She couldn't get away, so she asked me to bring the medicine to the general first. She will come herself later to apologize to the general.
Understood. Madame Su came closer, shaking her shoulders smugly.
Show me the money? What did I say? Everything she does at the academy is just for show. She's just like that. She's still jealous my son is marrying another. Her gifts were less than her sister's. Fearing the manor's disdain, he did this intentionally. He just wanted to shame Liangcheng and save face. Now she brings medicine. Fearing rejection, she thinks these petty tricks can manipulate us. My son would never dream of it.
Father Su couldn't remember when he had ever said such things, but seeing how excited he was, he didn't dare contradict him. Su Liangcheng finally let out a heavy sigh of relief, and JR even felt a twinge of guilt.
My neglect these past days led her to use dirty tricks and even have wild ideas. Competing for favor with my sister in this way, at the end of the day, it's all because she cares too much about me.
After saying this, Su Liangcheng looked at Li Mei with a guilty expression.
Maya, I swear you are the only one in my heart, but after all, she and I were married by the Emperor's decree. If I keep neglecting her, people will talk. So these days, I'll be going to the Duke's residence more often. You won't mind, will you?
I'm not the jealous type. I'm not someone who just sits around all day getting jealous and suspicious. Go ahead, you can go. In fact, I should be going too. I need to report to the Imperial Medical Bureau. I heard that Imperial Physician Zhang, who checks the pulse for the concubines in the harem, is about to retire and return to his hometown, and no one has filled his position yet.
Serving the concubines is a rare honor. It doubles your pay and lets you impress the Emperor and his court. When that time comes, it won't be long before you and Liangcheng are promoted in the army, little sister. You really are the lucky star of our general's manor.
Li Mei was secretly pleased, but outwardly pretended to be modest, saying it hasn't been decided yet. It might not necessarily be me.
In the past, the Imperial Medical Bureau didn't have any female physicians. Even though it caused many inconveniences, there was nothing that could be done. Now that there are female physicians, of course it's much more convenient for them to treat the concubines. You are definitely the one for this position.
Thanks to Madame and Master's kind words, if I can enter the palace, I will certainly help Liangcheng rise to success. This was exactly what Su father and Su mother wanted to hear. The two of them showered Li Mei with another round of extravagant praise from the bottom of their hearts. Su Liangcheng, feeling cheerful, took the medicine bottle from the servant's hand.
Maya, quickly help me apply it. I want to greet you at the door with my best appearance.
Li Mei had long wanted to see the Chu family's golden medicine. It outperforms modern medicine. If she brought it back to the modern world, she would make a fortune. Li Mei held the porcelain bottle and uncapped it. But instead of the medicinal fragrance she imagined, a foul stench hit her in the face. Li Mei, facing the mouth of the bottle, couldn't help but gag. Her expression changed dramatically as she glared angrily at Xiaoxi. You do it!
Quick! Someone go and see what kind of harmful thing is inside there!
Xiaoxi held his breath, stifled his gagging, and peered closer. He fell back in terror.
Who had diarrhea here?
After hearing about Liuer's bold act, I couldn't help but laugh and cry at the same time, my mouth twitching uncontrollably. I asked, didn't you ever think about what you'd do if the general's mansion came after you? Liuer had been quite excited when she went to fetch the dog feces, but now, realizing the consequences, she was starting to feel a bit scared. After all, Su Liangcheng is a great general. If he really wanted to kill a maid, it would be as easy as crushing an ant. But when she thought about the grievances her young lady had suffered, she didn't regret it at all.
They bullied Miss First! What could he possibly do to me? At worst, it's just death. 18 years later, I'll still be a hero. Well done, Sister Luer. Don't worry, the Duke's mansion will be waiting for you. As long as I'm alive, you won't die.
This made Luer feel even bolder.
If the General's mansion investigates, just blame me. I'll take the fall without involving the Duke's mansion. You stood up for my sister like a true heroine. You won't face punishment alone. Whatever the penalty, I'll stand before you.
Luer was so moved she was about to cry.
It's truly my good fortune as a servant to have met such wonderful masters as you and Miss.
All right, I knocked on the table to interrupt the two of you from your mutual praise and show of loyalty. What's done is done. The anger's been vented, and it's too late for regrets. If they can shamelessly make me kneel and deliver medicine, what are you afraid of? Luer immediately wilted again.
I'm not afraid of dying. I'm just afraid of implicating Miss.
I stood up and said, you'd die for me, so why should I fear? I'll take the blame. Stay hidden in the back. Before I reached the front, Uncle Fu hurried over.
Miss, something's wrong. Su Liangcheng has brought the officers and soldiers to our door.
I calmly ordered someone to watch Ali and Liu to stop them rushing to the front courtyard. Uncle Fu looked resolute, as if facing his end.
Miss, when I did all this, I had already thought through all the consequences. I am willing to bear them all. Please, let me take the blame.
My eyelid twitched. So you're involved in this too? Before Uncle Fu could answer, a chorus of eager voices sounded behind me.
We really couldn't stand it anymore. The General's manner has gone too far. If we don't teach them a lesson, we just can't swallow this anger. The idea was mine. I was the one who brought Dahei here.
I was the one who fed them the laxative.
I was the one who found the medicine bottle. If it wasn't Miss Niaoa or Miss Liu carrying it out, we were the real masterminds behind it all. We're all getting on in years and have already lived our share. If the General's manor comes looking for someone to blame, just hand us over. It has nothing to do with Miss or Liu.
I stood there listening as everyone, one after another, tried to take the blame onto themselves. So in the end, it turns out this was a grand scheme involving everyone. I just feel a bit sorry for Dahei, who was forced to have diarrhea. Still, you all really work together as one. Our country's kung fu is truly blessed to have people like you. For a moment, I couldn't tell if that was sarcasm. Everyone looked down awkwardly, and the weathered face of old Fubo turned red around the eyes.
Miss, we really didn't mean to cause trouble for the Duke's residents. We just couldn't stand seeing you being bullied like that. If Master and Madam were still here, how would they dare to be so disrespectful?
A wave of indescribable warmth welled up in my heart, and my voice softened as well. When did I ever say you were causing trouble? Everyone looked up, their eyes shining, the corners of my mouth lifted as my moist gaze swept over everyone. You all stood up for me and Ali. I, Feng Wangi, remember it all. Rest assured, someone as insignificant as Su Liangcheng isn't worthy of causing trouble for our Duke's residence. At this moment, Su Liangcheng had brought a squad of officers and soldiers to blockade the main gate of the Duke's residence, and the commotion had drawn a large crowd of onlookers. It was known Su Liangcheng was marrying 2 women, and clearly, he preferred the one from the military camp. Feng Wanga was betrothed by imperial edict to the general, but now, her status was crumbling. Despite her family's fall, her pride forbade such humiliation. Everyone waited for a scene, wondering if she would sue at court. If Feng Wangja used her family's military status to play the victim, the emperor might forbid Li Mei's marriage, but the mansion stayed silent. Some saw servants shopping for wedding supplies, suggesting that without family support, she was accepting her fate quietly. Everyone remained puzzled. Recently, this aggressive momentum signaled something was wrong. Soldiers knocked repeatedly to no response. Su Liangcheng ordered the door rammed. As he spoke, it creaked open. I stepped out under their gaze. Standing there, I glanced at the armed soldiers, then at Su Liangcheng's sword. The capital's security isn't your jurisdiction, General. Surrounding my residence like this, which Yaman's veterinarian are you? Su Liangcheng stepped forward, facing me.
Today, I'm here to help you clean house. Where is Liu? Hand her over.
Liu is mine. She acts on my orders. If you want to clean house, start with me instead. Su Liangcheng looked unconvinced.
Wan Gei, I know it wasn't you. You've always loved cleanliness since you were a child and can't stand even the slightest stench. Even if you wanted revenge, you wouldn't use such a disgusting method. It must have been Liu acting on her own, right? Hand her over. Then I'll pretend this never happened.
I stared directly at Su Liangcheng, refusing to back down. I'll say it again. I was the one who told Liu to do it. If you're here to fight, I'm ready. But if you're here to take her away, don't even think about it. Any guilt I once felt toward Feng Wangge has completely vanished. Su Liangcheng had completely lost his patience.
Just because I want to marry Maya, you've stirred up all this trouble. There's a limit to how much of a tantrum you can throw. Aren't you afraid I'll really ask the Emperor to cancel the marriage he granted?
I curled my lips coldly. Would you really be willing to? Are you ready to give up your good reputation for being loyal and righteous, give up my dowry, and give up the family estate and fertile lands of the Duke's household? Su Liangcheng's expression froze, and I continued. Even if you're willing to give it all up, why not go back and ask your parents and your beloved? Would they be willing to let it go? Su Liangcheng flicked his sleeve and scoffed at this.
You only dare to do as you please because you rely on these things. But unfortunately, you're mistaken. My general's manor is already honored and glorious. We have no interest in your dowry, nor do we need to cling to the Duke's household.
Then why don't you go back and ask your mother if the betrothal gifts for Li Mei this time have already emptied out the general's manor? Ask if the general's manor's accounts have been running at a loss for 3 consecutive years, and whether all your family's businesses are struggling to keep going. Everyone is waiting for my dowry to fill the hole. With each word I spoke, Su Liangcheng's pupils contracted, and his eyes were filled with guilt. That's impossible. The way he looks now is exactly like in my previous life, when I heard that the general's manor would have to rely on the Duke's household for support. It was exactly the same as before. What did he do in my previous life? He chose to avoid it, continued to pretend he knew nothing, and kept living a life where everything was handed to him. He let his parents and his sister Li do all sorts of bad things. As long as he didn't personally take anything, he could pretend that every penny he spent was clean. He always acted like he was the spotless Su Liangcheng, but in truth, he was more hypocritical than anyone else, and right now, he's exactly the same. Su Liangcheng had always sensed from his parents' words that the general's household was struggling to make ends meet, but since the responsibility never fell on him, he always pretended not to know. Now that I've exposed him, Su Liangcheng doesn't dare to ask further, and tries to dodge the issue.
You're just saying all this to confuse the truth and cover for Liu. If you want to protect him, that's fine, but hand over Wan Yujiao now, and I'll let him off this time.
My gaze fell on the spot on his neck where blood was faintly seeping out. Wan Yujiao has long been used up, there's none left now.
Impossible. The Chu family knows that everyone in the Duke's household practices martial arts, so they've never stopped supplying Wan Yujiao. You just don't want to let me use it, do you?
I won't pretend anymore either. Su Liangcheng's gaze darkened slightly. He couldn't understand where the gentle and obedient Feng Wan had gone.
The wound medicine on my neck hasn't healed since our wedding day. How does that benefit you?
The corners of my mouth lifted slightly. It doesn't benefit me, but as long as it harms you, that's enough. Su Liangcheng gripped his sword tightly, his eyes bloodshot with anger.
In the end, you're still angry that I married Maya.
I calmly retorted, if I married 2 men at the same time, would you be happy? Su Liangcheng glared at me fiercely.
That's different. It's perfectly normal for a man to have multiple wives and concubines.
I looked solemn and spoke each word carefully. My father only ever married my mother. Su Liangcheng, anger rising, blurted out words meant to wound.
That's why the Duke's household is so short on heirs. If it weren't for Feng Li being too young to go to war, the Feng family would have been wiped out long ago.
My expression changed slightly as I raised my hand and slapped him hard. The crisp sound of the slap echoed, startling the onlookers into silence.
You dare hit me?
My gaze was as cold as a blade. It was as if a suffocating chill pressed down on everyone. Your father did marry 3 concubines, but thanks to your mother, not a single illegitimate child survived past the age of 10. Now, the Su family has only you left as its sole heir. You'd better take good care of yourself, or the Su family will die out just like Su Liangcheng. Before she could say anything else, I decisively turned and walked away. Close the door. If anyone else dares to trespass, release the Tibetan Mastiffs. 6 enormous vicious dogs were let out from inside the gate, except for Dahe, who was still suffering from diarrhea. The prized guardian beasts of the Duke's residence had all been unleashed. The largest among them stood nearly as tall as half a person. Even the smallest of them stood as tall as an adult's thigh. Each one had glossy black fur, eyes gleaming coldly, and bared shining fangs. Just standing at the entrance, they were more intimidating than the door gods themselves. Even Su Liangcheng turned pale with fear.
Fang Wan, didn't I tell you to have them killed earlier? How can a noble lady from a prestigious family keep such dangerous beasts?
I turned around and stood next to the largest one. I reached out and gently patted the Tibetan Mastiff on the head. In my opinion, there are some people who aren't even worth a single hair of these animals. My good boys, if anyone dares to break into the manor and snatch someone today, don't hold back. I'll reward you. The Tibetan Mastiffs really seemed to understand. They all threw their heads back and howled wildly, scaring the onlookers into fleeing in all directions. The soldiers didn't dare to charge forward anymore, and some of the bolder ones tried to persuade Su Liangcheng.
General Su, a true hero, knows when to yield. Anyway, she'll be yours sooner or later. After the wedding, you can deal with her however you like.
Su Liangcheng couldn't suppress the anger burning inside him. The pain from his wound burned sharply, making his eyes brim with a barely contained fire. He used to think Feng Wanga was a proper lady from a prestigious family, the kind of virtuous wife suited for managing a household. Marrying her, even if life turned out dull, would at least look respectable. But lately, after witnessing the different sides of this woman, her fierceness, stubbornness, wild and untamable nature, Su Liangcheng felt something he had never experienced before. The urge to completely conquer her. This impulse, especially with their wedding approaching, turned into a determination to win her at all costs.
Feng Wanga, we have a long future ahead of us.
When I returned to the backyard, I saw Feng Li and Liu keeping watch over a listless Dahe. Dahe was a puppy Feng Xiao had picked up during his travels a few years ago. At first, we thought he was just an ordinary wolf dog, but as he grew, we realized he was actually a giant Tibetan Mastiff. The Tibetan Mastiff was proud and aloof, refusing to play with other dogs. Worried it would be lonely, Feng Xiao returned to the place where he first found it and brought back a female Tibetan Mastiff, naming her Xiaohe. Dahe and Xiaohe went on to have 5 Tibetan Mastiff puppies, and Feng Li gave each of them a name. From Yushui to Wushui, whenever Feng Xiao was around, he would often take this family of 7 out to the countryside for some fresh air. After Feng Xiao went to the border, this task fell to Feng Li and me. Strangely, the 7 Tibetan Mastiffs never attacked people lightly, but every time they saw Su Liang, they would bark furiously and wouldn't stop. Su Liang has told me several times to get rid of them, but I never listened to him. Looking back, they're smarter than us. They saw through Su Liangcheng's true nature early on. Recently, Dahe has been constipated and rolls in pain. He needs regular laxatives, so they decided to use him to replace Wan Yujiao and trap Su Liangcheng. When Su Liangcheng was finally driven away, the whole house was thrilled. Feng Li suggested,
Today, Dahe, Xiaohe, and Marshal Wu are the biggest heroes, sister. I want to give them an extra meal.
Approved. I smiled and reminded her, remember not to let Dahe eat too much, or he'll have to take medicine again tomorrow. Dahe's eyes, which had just lit up, immediately drooped again. Shubailala's wedding day was getting closer and closer. As festive red lanterns were hung outside the gates of the Eastern Palace, the Crown Prince's wedding could no longer be kept a secret. The Duke's mansion, the Eastern Palace, and the General's mansion all hung up big red lanterns at almost the same time. Li Mei claimed to be an orphan to outsiders and had been staying at an inn since returning to the capital, although the inn had also been decorated inside and out. But unlike the others, it was unremarkable. As people talked, they cared most about the identity of the future crown princess to the crippled prince. The Duke's mansion ignored the gossip, proceeding steadily. Red silk draped the trees, eaves, and corridors. The entire place was resplendent in red. In the front yard, the space was filled with silk-wrapped boxes forming the bride's dowry. There was no more space left in the courtyard. It looked like the boxes would soon have to be placed out on the street. Yet the servants kept carrying more out from the storeroom. But to outsiders, past quarrels are forgotten. Now no one is stingy with the dowry, fearing the bride might be looked down upon. Meanwhile, I'm setting up a porridge stall outside the city for the poor. This honors the Feng family souls, hoping they find peace. At one pavilion, 2 family members pray for his happy marriage and mutual respect. 3 of the Crown Prince's staff prayed for a miracle and his quick recovery. Word spread, and the following day, military doctors arrived with others. They set up another tent next to Zhou Peng.
By order of the Crown Prince, the Eastern Palace is celebrating with the people. The Crown Prince has specially instructed us to distribute winter clothing and seeds for vegetables and fruits to the people free of charge. We wish everyone a safe and peaceful winter, and hope that the people will enjoy favorable weather and abundant harvests in the coming year.
This spectacle attracted people from all the surrounding villages. Everyone was dressed in brand new winter clothes, their pockets filled with seeds that promised prosperity in the coming year, and holding bowls of steaming porridge in their hands. Every passerby offered blessings for the Crown Prince and me, wishing us a happy marriage, a long life together, and unwavering love. I gladly accepted their well wishes, a gentle smile spreading across my face. Quietly, Junyi stood by, noting every blessing and thanks to tell his master later. Su Liangcheng hurried over at the news, and seeing this, his expression soured.
Shut up! The one she's marrying is me, Su Liangcheng, not the Crown Prince.
His neck wound, bandaged in coarse cloth, made him look quite ridiculous standing there. The aunt, just finished with her blessings, trembled at his sudden shout.
I never said this young lady and the Crown Prince were a couple. I wish the young lady and the Crown Prince each a happy marriage with their respective partners, a lifetime of love and unwavering devotion. Will that do?
I comforted the aunt, saying, sorry, she's not right in the head. Please don't mind her.
She doesn't seem very smart either. Calls herself a great general, but she's not even as sharp as my 5-year-old grandson. Miss, you're so kind. Why would you want to marry someone like him?
I did have some doubts about it before. After seeing the aunt off, Su Liangcheng walked over with a dark expression.
You're Zhou, why didn't you discuss it with me?
I looked up at him and said, did I spend your money? Su Liangcheng became even more upset.
It's not about whose money was spent. You're only concerned with building up your own good reputation. But have you ever thought about me and Meyer? If General Su wanted to build a good reputation too, he could just set up a tent himself. Look, there's still plenty of space over there. Not spending a single coin, but still wanting to take advantage. That's not what a gentleman would do.
Su Liangcheng's expression darkened with displeasure.
This is between my wife and me. Don't worry about it, Lord Jun.
John laughed like a rooster crowing.
It's a bit early to call yourselves husband and wife, at least not until the wedding ceremony. Who the flower will belong to in the end is still uncertain.
Su Liangcheng's expression froze.
What do you mean by that?
With one day until the wedding, fearing the advisor might slip up, I interrupted. General Su, please leave. He's only joking. Su turned his gaze back to me.
I know you don't want me to marry Maya, but what's done is done. I hope you can accept reality.
And then?
Although you and Maya are both my wives, on the wedding night, I have decided to go to Maya's room. She once saved my life, and I can't let her be looked down upon in the future. You should be mentally prepared, and tomorrow, you must not cause any trouble.
Understood. Is there anything else? Su Liangcheng's expression changed slightly. My reaction gave him a sense of emptiness, as if he'd punched cotton. This woman is still pretending even now. A woman who can't keep her husband on their wedding night will be despised for a lifetime. She doesn't believe that Feng Wange really doesn't want to keep her. Su Liangcheng saw the military doctor looking elsewhere, touched the scar on his neck, and leaned in closer to me, lowering his voice.
If you hand over Wan Yujiao now, I can agree to come to your room in the second half of the night. That way, you won't have a hard time in the future.
With a snort, the military doctor beside us couldn't hold back and burst out laughing. Su Liangcheng thought he hadn't heard. A trace of embarrassment flashed across his face, while I glanced indifferently at the military doctor. The military doctor immediately put away his smile and pretended to apologize.
My hearing is quite good, so I accidentally witnessed General Su's shamelessness. General Su, don't blame me. Don't think that just because you're the Crown Prince's man, I wouldn't dare to touch you.
The military doctor shrugged indifferently.
My mouth has no filter. If General Su isn't afraid of everyone finding out that you actually used your wedding night as leverage just to get Wan Yujiao, then go ahead and make a move. I'll take you on.
Su Liangcheng's gaze suddenly turned dark. His expression twisted, but he fell silent. Watching them clash, I rubbed my forehead helplessly. Just then a guard shouted, "Doctor!" The doctor looked back.
Really?
The military doctor obediently stood up.
Since Miss Feng says there is, then there must be. I'll reluctantly go take a look.
After the military doctor left, I felt more enthusiasm for that pot of porridge simmering on the stove than for Su Liangcheng. Thinking of all the dowry filling the courtyard, Su Liangcheng forcibly suppressed the anger in his heart.
There's still one more day. Once you enter the general's residence, let's see how long you can keep up this tough act.
Su Liangcheng flicked his sleeve and left. At some point, the military doctor quietly returned to my side, his tone barely concealing his disdain.
Forgive me for being blunt. Miss Feng, your taste in the past was rather embarrassing.
For a moment, I felt utterly hopeless. This bluntness was a bit too much, but she had to admit it was true. In this lifetime, almost marrying Su Liangcheng was indeed a stain on his record. Whenever he thought about it, he would always feel uncomfortable. He shot the military doctor a cold glance. "Are you here just to stab me in the heart?" The military doctor replied with a perfectly serious expression.
I am here to protect Miss on behalf of my master.
His master's been cheerful lately, even eating well. He couldn't let his master fade. Since this doctor saved Feng Li, I grew closer and ignored his harshness. Jun Zhuyuan reminded me why Dapeng was giving out porridge. Has every piece of military-issued undistributed supplies been registered?
Of course.
That puts my mind at ease. Then I must trouble you, strategist, to keep the roster safe. In the future it will be of great use to your master. Seeing how confident I looked, as if everything was under control, the military doctor belatedly realized that this was not just a simple act of charity. He had no idea what this young lady was planning. For some reason, she had an inexplicable trust in Brother Feng Wan.
Miss, rest assured, not a single one will be left out.
When I returned home that day, it was already evening. The courtyard was filled with red silk boxes, with Dahei, Xiaohei, and Wu Shuai guarding every corner. Forget thieves. Even a fly couldn't get in. I'm just getting married, not moving the whole estate. Why bring so much stuff? Uncle Fu had worked all day and sat under the veranda exhausted but still smiling.
Young Master said there are many things we can save on. But since Miss is going to the Eastern Palace for the first time and isn't familiar with the place, there will be a lot to take care of. It's better to bring more, just in case.
My fatigue vanished. The Eastern Palace isn't that scary. The people are friendly. You really don't need to worry. I returned most items, keeping 20 dowry chests, the standard for an official's daughter. It's neither ostentatious, nor does it seem like I'm trying to curry favor. Anyway, ever since my parents and elder brother passed away, everyone thinks the Duke's manor won't last much longer, so a modest dowry matches their expectations. It's just that I didn't see my uncle's family again today. I feel a bit disappointed. Has no one from Lingzhou come yet? Uncle Fu suddenly remembered something and hurriedly replied.
A letter arrived from Lingzhou. Your great-uncle said that recently, the herbs in King Yao's valley need to be harvested urgently, so he won't be coming. In the letter, he wishes you a happy wedding and a long, harmonious marriage with your husband.
I felt uneasy inside. My uncle must think I'm marrying Su Liangcheng, so he's angry and decided not to come. Even his blessing sounded so perfunctory. Back when His Majesty bestowed the marriage, my uncle blamed my mother for arranging the engagement so early. He never liked Su Liangcheng at all. Looking at it now, my uncle really had sharp judgment. Uncle Fu smiled helplessly.
Miss, don't be upset. After tomorrow, when your great-uncle finds out who you're really marrying, he will understand you.
If she finds out I'm marrying the Crown Prince, she might just grow wings and fly over from the forest to settle the score with me. Uncle Fu couldn't help but laugh out loud. After tidying up the dowry in the courtyard, Uncle Fu picked up a brocade box about a finger long from beside him. When he opened it, inside was a crystal-clear jade guanyin. The willow branch white jade used was pure, translucent, delicate, and warm, with every detail exquisitely crafted to perfection. I was puzzled. Where did such a fine item come from?
It was sent from Lingyun Temple, Miss Yin said. Tomorrow is your wedding day, miss. She can't come down the mountain, so this jade guanyin was personally polished by her. It symbolizes many children and great fortune. Consider it her way of sending you off in place of the young master, Hang.
Sister, I held the jade guanyin in both hands. A tear slipped down unexpectedly. The wedding day had finally arrived. It was the season of crisp autumn air, neither too cold nor too hot. The bright sun rose from the east at dawn, casting dappled light and shadows into the room through the cracks in the doors and windows. My features were already attractive, and now, with a bit of adornment, my ethereal and delicate beauty was truly captivating. Everyone was stunned, staring at me without blinking. Liua covered her mouth in amazement.
Oh my, miss, with your looks, it's no exaggeration to say you're like a fairy descended to earth. Miss is usually so low-key. If you dressed up like this more often, the matchmakers would have worn out the threshold of our Marquise's residence long ago. How would it ever be Su Liangcheng's turn?
It's such a joyous day. What are you saying such things for?
I hope when the red bridal veil is lifted tonight, the Crown Prince will jump for joy.
Her words got wilder, and I laughed and cried. I thought, is that all? Suddenly, the matron slapped her knee.
Oh dear, it's time! Hurry and have someone carry out the dowry! The wedding procession will be here any minute! Where's the red bridal veil? Quick, get the red bridal veil!
In a flurry of activity, I finally put on the red bridal veil, and at last, my ears found some peace. Outside the courtyard, amid the sound of gongs and drums, the dowry was carried out. The Duke's estate was near Sister Lee's inn, and both dowries were carried out simultaneously. Onlookers compared them again. Sister Lee's small dowry was expected as an orphan. But as the Duke's daughter, Miss Feng Wan was expected to have more. Despite rumors of 100 cases, seeing her dowry match Sister Lee's, people knew the Duke was broke. Once Miss Feng Wan married. With only a 6-year-old left, it wouldn't last. Li Mei had people monitoring the situation. Hearing the discussions, she was overjoyed. But before she could laugh, drums and gongs erupted outside. Suddenly, people shouted amidst drums, demanding the Chu family add to Miss Feng's dowry 20 stalks each of ancient red lingji, 9 heaven ice grass, 1000-year polygonum, ginseng, and Tianshan snow lotus, wishing the couple eternal harmony. To be bound together in troubled times, to share the fate of the wronged butterflies. Any one of these items alone would be a priceless, rare medicinal treasure, impossible to obtain even with a fortune. Yet Feng Wang received so many with ease. The weight of this dowry surpasses that of Sister Lee's by 100 or even 1,000 times. From this day forward, everyone will remember that Feng Wang is the noble lady in the capital, with the most prestigious dowry. Who would remember her now? Li Mei stood frozen in place, her face extremely unsightly. As I was being helped and just about to step out the door, I heard the voices outside and nearly burst into tears. It was my uncle. Feng Li came running over out of breath, his eyes red. He had already started crying upon hearing the very first words.
Uncle Eiji must be worried that you'll be wronged after marriage, so he's using these things to support you.
Under the bridal veil, I couldn't help but let my tears fall. Seeing this, Liuer's eyes turned red as she handed a handkerchief under the veil.
Miss, don't cry. If your makeup gets ruined, we'll have to fix it again.
I told others not to cry, but couldn't stop myself. I ruined my makeup and had to fix it. By the time I came out, the bridal sedan had been waiting a long time. Outside the general's mansion, Su Liangcheng stood in wedding robes. With his neck wound still bandaged in red cloth under his collar, he looked odd. He heard of my Chu family dowry, all of it priceless. His resentment eased. After all, Feng Wange must care for him, otherwise she wouldn't have asked the Chu family for herbs for the general's mansion. Pleased, he thought if she yielded today, she could stay the night. Li Mei's sedan arrived first. By tradition, both chairs must arrive before the groom leads them in for the ceremony, but after Li Mei's sedan stopped, the other was nowhere in sight, no matter how long they waited.
What an attitude! If the auspicious hour is missed, he'll be the #1 offender in the general's mansion.
Sumu still saw no sign of the sedan chair, gritting his teeth in anger.
Why not let Liang Cheng and Mayor proceed with the ceremony first? When Feng Wan arrives, let him enter through the side door.
Only concubines enter the general's mansion through the side door. This really showed how angry they were. Su Liangcheng was also breaking out in a cold sweat. For some reason, the closer it got to the wedding ceremony, the more uneasy he felt, as if something big was about to happen. Just as he was feeling anxious, a commotion suddenly came from up ahead. Everyone immediately craned their necks to look, but what they saw was not the wedding procession they had sent out, but a young servant stumbling and scrambling back in a panic.
General, something terrible has happened. Miss Feng got into the royal bridal sedan and is headed to the Eastern Palace.
Su Liangcheng's eyes widened in shock before he could figure out what was going on. The sound of galloping horses raced from the palace toward all corners of the capital, and the shouts echoed throughout the entire city.
His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and the daughter of the Duke of Dingguo are joyfully united in marriage. Let the whole world celebrate. Nation thrive and people find peace.
The cries surrounded him from all directions, lingering in his ears like an inescapable spell. Su Liangcheng felt as if struck by a bolt from the blue.